Hey there, WOW friends, it's Adele King in here from the Wellbeing Weekly. This week I've got a 30 to 45 minute practice really honing in on areas where we tend to gather a lot of tension, where we kind of literally get our grubby mitts on life and squeeze dear life and vitality in our bodies and, bigger life concepts. And we're really embracing the ability to practice the discipline of letting go. That's what I'm terming it, the discipline of letting go, the necessity of surrender, releasing, particularly around through the neck, the shoulders, and the hips. It's a more grounded, really delicious yin-style practice today. So we will only stay on our butts, and we will spend a lot of time in a few very seemingly simple but often very challenging poses. To support yourself in that, support is key, as I go into in the video. I suggest having something like a yoga block. If not a yoga block, it could be a big fat book with a towel wrapped around it. Then also something like a yoga bolster, and it could be a couple of really fat cushions or a couple of blankets rolled up or a big fat towel rolled up. So get those two things handy. Just make yourself really yummy and comfortable. It's winter here in New Zealand, so I've got almost like PJs on today. To embrace that sense of comfort, to really let go into all that support. So get yourself set up, and we'll meet back here to get started. Okay, so starting off in a comfortable seat, I suggest, if you can, sitting on your shins in a supported hero pose, supported Vajrasana. If you've got something really cushiony like a bolster, that could be great. You can build your seat up, get a little bit higher to make it really nice and easeful on your knee joints and your ankle joints. If there is any, compression there that is going to exacerbate feeling stuck in those areas, you could use like a rolled up towel or a blanket that you could put behind either the knee joint if it's feeling aggravated, or underneath the ankle joint. But what we want to find is a nice comfortable position where the spine can grow into its full length, and there can be this flow of weight pouring down the front of the spine to spill nice and evenly into the bowl shape of your pelvis, and then stream really clearly this flow, this waterfall of weight through the center of your knees and out through your feet. If there's anything that feels like a dam in that flow of weight, of energy, then I suggest sitting a bit higher, or like I said, getting some extra cushioning for where you might feel a bit stuck. And then once you're there, enjoy the comfort of that stable seat. And I'm just going to get you to start to gently open up the space in the back of your neck. And just take it really slow. All you're going to do is drop your chin down towards your chest. Not forcing it, just letting the pull of gravity do the work. And spend a couple of rounds of breaths there. Allowing a feeling of relaxation to wash down the back of the neck, around the shoulders, as you sip in really easeful breaths in and long, steady breaths out. And then maintain that release down the back of the shoulders as you inhale, lift your chin up. And slowly start to move your head backwards, allowing the shoulders to be really heavy. All you're doing is looking towards sky, the chin moving up. If you do have any chronic pain or inflammation in your neck, you will want to interlace your hands behind your head to support the weight of the head. So opening through the front of the neck. One more breath. And inhale, come back up. At this time now, if you haven't yet already, interlace your hands behind your head, creating a nice little hammock of support there with your fingers interlaced. And on your exhale, same thing, dip your chin down towards your chest. spreading open through the back of your neck and the top of your shoulders. And then on your inhale, curl up, press the back of your head into your hands, widen your elbows, lift your gaze. And this time as you exhale, start to hug your elbows in towards your temples. You're not pressing much on the back of your head, it's more gravity doing the work. Then inhale, lift your chest, lift your chin, your gaze, your elbows go wide. Exhale, hug your elbows in. Release your chin to your chest. And then inhale up. Good, one more like that. Exhale. And inhale up. This time exhale your chin to your chest. And pause there. And as you press your hands into the back of your head, also press your head into your hands. And carve out a little bit more space. The back of the neck, the top of the shoulders, with the elbows hugging in towards your temples, a little bit more space around the mid-back as well. And each exhale, allow a radiating feeling of relaxation washing down your neck, around your back. And then take one hand to your forehead, press into your forehead to inhale, help your head back up. And exhale, release your hands. You might just want to do a little roll around. Slide the jaw side to side. See any residue stickiness there, allow it to be mobilized with breath, with gentle movement. Then pause in center. Take a big full breath in, big buoyant breath in. Notice how your lungs kind of inflate like balloons from your lower ribs all the way to the top, front, side and back. On your exhale, take your right hand across to the outside of your left knee. Reach your left hand behind you on fingertips so you still stay really tall in the spine. Then inhale, big buoyant breath in again. And allow that lift and fullness to remain even as you exhale and twist a bit further around towards the left. Now, to get a nice stretch through the neck, what you can do is turn around to face me and start to look over your right shoulder. Let that back arm just be nice and heavy there, so you're not yanking yourself into the twist. It's more the invitation of the exhale taking you deeper into the twist. And it's from a baseline of that lift and buoyant support of the inhale that will help you with that, and creating the support before the movement, the support of the in-breath. To exhale to move deeply on the out-breath. Just like many things in life, we've got to create the support before the movement, before the growth, before the action. Sometimes if we don't do that, it's unsustainable. Or something quickly destabilizes us and we give up. Good. Then inhale, come back through center. Just notice the difference there, side to side. Then from center, inhale, big buoyant breath in, front, side and back. From your belly, your lungs. Then exhale, twist around to the other way. The left hand to the outside of your right leg, right arm around behind you. Inhale, big buoyant breath in. And allow that lift and fullness to remain even as you exhale. So there's no collapse, there's no sagging, nothing deflates. And if you're going for that stretch through your neck again, turn your head forwards, look over your opposite shoulder, your left shoulder. Allow that back arm to get nice and heavy. And breath supporting you on the inhale. And the exhale offering the invitation to act, to move deeper. Then inhale, come back through center. Exhale, roll anything out. Could be undulating the spine, a little stretch up and down, side to side. A little bit of freeform movement for you. And bringing this into a little bit of breath work to clear out in the belly where we tend to get a bit rigid and stuck, where we lose the support of what's available to us in the mind and our gut. So bring one hand to your belly and start to receive your breath down into that hand. And allowing your belly to fill your hand on the inhale. And exhale, a gentle release of your belly button back towards your spine. Notice how the chest can still stay really lifted though. Good, and then from there we're going to take that into short, sharp, snappy exhales. So the belly button really snaps back towards the spine. It's a powerful breath out through both nostrils. So much so you don't even have to think about the in-breath in. It will just naturally vacuum back in and pop your belly out. It's the Kapalabhati breath. Some of you would have done this before with me before in other videos. So if you haven't done it with me before though, let's just start with eyes open together and take a big full breath in, into the belly. Exhale, long, steady breath out. Inhale, halfway to prepare. And exhale, start pumping from the belly button out. Good, just like that. Keep going. So the movement is initiated from the belly button. Do a couple more. Then exhale out completely. Inhale, fill up. Big buoyant breath in, belly and chest. Little pause at the top of the breath. Then exhale, let it go. Okay, this time, same action of the breath, but I want you to do it with your eyes closed. So you're really attuned to the movement from your belly button and all that support that starts to open up with the energy pumping through there. So first, again, let's just inhale together. You can keep your hand on your belly if that's helpful. Exhale, long cleansing breath out. Inhale, halfway to prepare. And exhale, start pumping. Good, and keep going. And you might notice my pace is too slow for you. You might want to be a bit quicker. Or if that feels too aggressive, you could go slower. Just trust that you're finding the pace for you. And do 10 more pumps on your own. Then when you finish that last one, exhale out completely. Inhale, fill up. Notice how much more air you can draw and how much more space you can create. And pause at the top of the breath. Notice the quality of that space. And exhale and let it go. And keeping your eyes closed, just fall back into your easeful, natural rhythm of breathing in and out. Maintain that awareness of your breath down in your belly. Perhaps a freer flow of energy there, enriching the intelligence that is there in your gut. An intelligence that is often ignored or silenced when we spend a lot of time up in the front part of our brains. And blink your eyes open. Lean forwards to shift out what you were sitting upon. You can take a little stretch through the back of your legs if you need that. Then cross your right knee behind your left knee. So from all fours, cross your right knee behind your left knee. I'm mirroring you. Then come down to a seat. Now we haven't done a lot of big body movements here, so it might be that you feel quite sticky in outer hips and your legs. So take a minute or two to really find a skillful setup for you, and that's a lot about creating support, right? Is taking the time to slow down and skillfully align all these pieces of the jigsaw puzzle that can support you interiorly and drawing on resources around you. So I'm feeling a little bit sticky in my hips. It's been a cold morning here. So I'm going to sit my hips up on something, not as high as I was earlier, but a little bit higher. So have that nice waterfall of weight evenly spilling down the legs. If you find, just for demonstrating purposes, that it's really hard to get that left pelvic half grounded, please do extend the bottom leg. That is more advanced to slow down and make that supportive choice rather than trying to contort and force yourself into a shape you think you should be able to do. Just addressing the needs of this body, this moment. Working to stack thigh upon thigh, knee upon knee, as best as you can for your body. If you're feeling anything creaky under your knees, place some support there as well, so you're not going to do any damage to the ligaments on the lateral part of the knee. So pick your shape and take a big buoyant breath in, reach your arms wide and high. And on your exhale, swipe your left arm underneath your right arm. Wrap your forearms. If you can, do a double wrap of the hands as well. If that's not quite there, just press the back of the hands together. That's good too. And inhale, lift your elbows up in front of you. Exhale, draw your shoulder heads back. Maintain the lift in your spine. Take another big buoyant breath in. And on your exhale, move your elbows, your forearms, your hands over to the left. You're not twisting, it's just the arms moving. And then inhale back through center. This time, allow your gaze to follow that movement over to the left, looking over your left shoulder. And inhale back through center. Again, like that. Exhale, arms over to the left, look over your left shoulder. And inhale. Exhale over. A small, subtle movement. Inhale. And this time, as you exhale over, stay there with the arms. Then look back towards me, down the front. And drop your left ear to your left shoulder, opening up through the right side of the neck. Allow that right shoulder to stay really heavy. Notice if it hitches up. And then you can titrate the experience here for yourself, depending on where you're kind of perceiving that there's a bit of stuck energy or tightness. You could dip your chin towards your chest and slide your chin back more to get into the back line of the right side of your neck. You could lift your chin back up so it's parallel to the floor and keep releasing that left ear to the left shoulder to get more into the side of the neck. And soften and close your eyes and be with this experience. Not needing to manipulate it into something different. Just simply embracing the support of a big buoyant breath in. And the natural movement that a long exhale facilitates. And keep it easy. Good. One more breath like that. And inhale, lift your head upright and wrap your arms. Whee, that was a good one from me there. I've got a history of a bit of stickiness in the back of the right upper shoulder blade. So if you need to mobilize anything, continue to roll that through. And staying in your seat, take your fingertips wide. And we'll take Kapalabhati breath again here in this seat. So receive your breath into your belly, big breath in. Long cleansing breath out. Close your eyes. Inhale halfway to prepare. And exhale, start pumping. Take 10 more on your own. Good, then exhale out completely when you've completed that 10. Inhale, fill up. Pause at the top of your breath. Notice the qualities of what you feel here. And exhale, let it go. Blink your eyes open. Shift your weight forwards to move off anything you were sitting upon. Lean back so the legs can unravel themselves. You're not going to yank on any joints or ligaments. Take your arms back behind you and just nice little pellet cleanser, windscreen wiper your knees over side to side. And then sitting back upright, this time bringing the ball of the right foot high up the left inner thigh, left leg straight out to the diagonal. And again here, because the shape has changed, so we're asking our body to hold us up in a different way, you might notice that there are different challenges to what you had when you were seated just before. So check in with the needs of this moment, that there's still that same nice length in the spine, the waterfall of weight that can evenly spill down. If something like this is going on, when literally the weight of the world drops on your shoulders, it's going to break at that juncture point where there isn't a clear flow or a clear pathway. So take your time to attend to that. It could be a block under the knee if it's really lifting up. It could be a block behind the extended leg if you feel like there's a real pull behind the knee. It could be sitting back up higher, making that elevating choice to really support yourself. And then taking your makeshift block, if you've got another one there to hand, or it could be a book, and placing that to the inside of your left leg. Then square your chest to face over your bent leg, your right leg. Serve your left hand out like you're serving a platter. And then like I'm a little teapot, up and over, so you keep that length, big buoyant breath in, maintain that lift and that fullness as you exhale and drop your left elbow to the block. And it might be that you need to adjust the block a bit higher. Then spin your belly and your chest towards the sky to rest your left ear and your left hand. Get really heavy in that right side pelvis. Then you can make a couple of choices with the right arm. You could inhale, sweep your right arm overhead and take hold of the back of your head, pointing your elbow up to sky. Or if you want a little bit more in the right side neck and the right shoulder, swipe your right arm around behind you. Either tuck it into your waistband or start to wiggle your fingertips around to your outer left hip. And whatever choice you make, be really clear about how you're supporting yourself. To then reside patiently in this shape, becoming really still in the outer body, so there's no fidgeting, there's no distraction. You get a bit heavier in your legs as your head gets heavy in your hand. And gravity can do all the good work with the support of your big buoyant breath in and your long steady breath out. And if your energy gets pulled in a different direction that's not here, what you're cooking for dinner, or that email that you haven't replied to, that conversation that you're replaying in your head, just notice that distraction for what it is. And make the supportive choice to come back to this breath, this moment. Without analysis or judgment. There you go. Just a couple more breaths here. And reach your arm out to the side, reaching through your fingertips. Press into the left side of your head with your left hand to inhale, come upright. Move your block off to the side. Lean back, so again the legs can unravel themselves. Might be another little windscreen wiper side to side. Could be a reverse tabletop. Feel a lift opening through the front of the body. And come back to a nice easy cross-legged seat with your right leg in front of you. You could do a little sweep side to side. Fold forwards for a few breaths. It's very much keeping your awareness inwards. Inhale, come back up. Sweep your legs around to the side. You can do a little interlude here. A couple of rounds of cat-cow, arching and rounding your back. Just enjoying some rolling, undulating movements. Your spine loves that. All directions. And then cross your left leg behind your right leg this time. Left behind right, stacking thighs, stacking knees, taking your feet wide to sit yourself back down. Notice it might be different on this side. Don't rush into it making assumptions. Spend some time with it, really discerning the subtleties. Where is that flow of energy that is free? And where might it be stuck, like a kink in a hose? Yeah, I'm quite different from one side of the hip to the other, so I'm feeling quite nice just sitting without support. That right pelvic half is nicely grounded for me. If it's not, some days it does really feel like it's hitching up towards my ear. Make the elevating choice again, either to sit upright, so there can be a greater flow down through the hips, or extend that bottom leg, the left leg out. Check in with the knees, that there's nothing pulling, there's nothing painful or compressed. And inhale, arms wide. And on your exhale, swipe your right arm underneath your left arm this time. Wrap your forearms, either wrapping the hands or the back of the hands together. Inhale, elbows up in front of you. Exhale, shoulder heads back. Take a big, buoyant, elevating breath in. And on your exhale, this time the elbows, the forearms are going to move over to the right. And inhale back through center. It's just the arms. You're not twisting through the spine. Exhale over to the right. This time the head follows. Look over the right shoulder. Inhale back through center. Exhale over to the right. Inhale back through center. Exhale over to the right. Inhale back through center. This last one, exhale over to the right. Stay there with the arms. Inhale, look back towards me through the front. Take another big full breath in. And on your exhale, drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Check in with the situation there. And then you can experiment and explore for yourself. Once you've got really present to what's there, you can make some skillful choices. You could play with dipping your chin towards your chest and tucking your chin back. That will get more into the back line, the left side of the neck. Or you could lift your chin back up so it's more parallel to the floor, really inviting gravity to release the right ear to the right shoulder, opening up a little bit more through the left side of the neck, the left shoulder. And then once you're there, make a real commitment to be there with it. The support, that is your awareness, that is your conscious breath. Not trying to make it anything. Attending to it, where awareness in and of itself is transformative. The paradox is that thing that you think you need to fix or change, it will actually naturally start to fix itself. Just simply with your awareness. And create that foundation of support for the movement to be organically, naturally initiated in your favor. And trust in that. A couple more rounds of breath. And then inhale up through center. Unravel the arm. Roll the shoulders or the chin. Notice if there's any resistance to get out of this seat. As much as you can, stay with it. Play into it with your breath. You take your fingertips wide out to the side. Kapalabhati breath, one more round. First, taking a big, buoyant breath in. A long, steady breath out. Inhale halfway to prepare. And exhale, start pumping. And keep going with that. Anything you feel that's getting in your way of freeing up the flow, anything that's holding you back, mobilize it with those short, sharp exhales. Go for 15 more if you can. And when you finish that last one, exhale completely. Inhale, fill up. Notice the quality of your mind state as you pause at the top of the breath. Perhaps it's more neutralized, calmer, peaceful. And exhale, let the breath go. Blink your eyes open. Lean your weight back onto your hands so the legs can unravel. Windscreen wiper your knees side to side. Just like a little palate cleanse before we move into the last pose for this practice. And coming back up through center. Right leg extends out to the side. Pick up your left foot. Draw the ball of the foot high up the inner thigh. Again, you might notice it's different on this side. This leg of mine's a little bit more grounded. If it was lifted up, I would place a block or a towel underneath it. Check in with the back of the right knee. And check in where that weight is, if it's centered and balanced, as opposed to slumping back, where we're going to, where something might break. Nicely grounded through both pelvic halves. And then when you're there, pivot your chest to face over your bent leg, your left leg. Take your block or your book or whatever you're using as your yoga block alternative to the inside of your right knee. And take your right hand out like you're serving a platter, whatever platter of goodness you desire for yourself today. And take another nice big bright breath in. And exhale up and over, maintaining that lift as you release your right elbow to the block and nestle your right ear in your right hand. And spend a breath there. It's getting a bit heavier on that right side. Then make the same choice for your left arm that you did on the other side. So it was either arcing it overhead and taking hold of the back of the head, releasing the back of the head into the hand, or swimming it around behind you, the back of the hand into your waistband, or around your outer right hip. Soften and close your eyes as you patiently surrender yourself into this shape. Allowing anything that feels hard or stagnant to start to soften and flow like liquid honey. By you being present to what is here, supporting it with the gift of a fulsome, expansive breath in to chest, to belly, with the reciprocal release of the fluid breath out. That's enough. Trust that that's enough. It's what I call a practice of observant surrender. For a long time I was a bit challenged by the semantics of surrender, the idea that it was correlated with giving up or being apathetic. But it's so not that. The observant part of the equation is your ability to show up, to be present to what is, to bring your highest intent, letting go of any attachment to a particular outcome, any need for something to happen, to shift, to change. And the partner to that is the support that quality of trust provides. Trust that as you show up and present yourself to what is, as you align in your highest way, you will be given something of value. You will be given the greatest good to you possible in that moment, regardless of whether your mind would like to judge it as otherwise. And you trust in the flow, knowing that everything will be okay, even without your input, even without getting your mucky hands on it. Trust in this right here, right now. Nice. And bring that with you as you extract your left arm and reach it long by your side. Press your right hand into your head to inhale, come up. So beautifully done. Lean yourself back. Allow your legs to unravel, unwind. Again, it could be windscreen wipers. It could be a reverse tabletop. It could be just simply wiggly woggly legs in and out, or a nice little pat down. A little bit of love. And left shin in front of right shin. Any last final movements you feel you need, just to surrender to the flow of your breath, guided by this intelligence that resides in your gut. It also beautifully supports the expanse, the upliftment, your lungs and your heart. And folding forwards, this is where I'll leave you today. You're nicely set up to complete this practice in a 5 or 10 minute meditation for you. If that's a really supportive choice, then I encourage you to make time for that. It could be a supportive choice to completely lie down on your back and enjoy a few restorative moments there. Or it could be taking out a pen and paper and continuing to process this flow, this gesture, what I call the necessity of surrender, the discipline of letting go. Anything you need to purge that gets in the way of really being disciplined and letting go, put it down on paper. Write it out, breathe it out, stretch it out, but pick a practice for you to continue to fully show up for life as it is. And I promise you, peace starts to trickle in with that practice, the discipline of letting go. Life touches you as it's meant to. And a greater quality of freedom sets in. So from my heart to your heart, thank you for embracing this practice. Namaste.